Okay, it should be recording.
Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and start.
Yep.
So, our program is called Actively Aging and it's for older adults. My name is Alyssa.
My name is Sasha.
My name is Dinara.
Okay, next slide. I can't change the slides on here. Okay, so a little bit of background. The textbook recommends that each person should get around 30 minutes of exercise per day, and that can be achieved through a number of ways. Exercise is proven to help lower the risk of a disease. And the organization called Healthy People 2010 set sample goals for development of physical activity programs. And older adults are the fastest growing population. And many research that was done in the past um, uses the behavioral model and the social learning in cognitive theory. So, since there is a rising population of older adults and 77% of them do not participate in physical activity, it is important to create a program that will motivate them to participate to further improve their health as they age, which is what our program is intending to do. So the guiding theory that we will be using for this program is the self-determination theory, and it uses self-motivation to guide the theory. And the three components of it are competence, which is dealing with the environment, relatedness, which is relationships with peers, and then autonomy, which is controlling the course of our lives. This theory focuses on people's psychological needs and growth, and it helps build the relationship between basic needs and performance. So, the main goal of this program is to increase the engagement in physical activity and encourage supportive social environments. So, we have three main objectives, and the first one is to promote awareness of the importance of physical activity. So, this means providing education about the benefits of exercise, promoting benefits of healthy living, and educating on ways to increase healthy eating habits. The second objective we have is to facilitate exercise programs for a home health setting. And doing this, we set up specific exercises for the individual's needs, and we also improve flexibility and cardiovascular endurance. And then the third objective we have is to evaluate the adaptations to the interventions. And so this is just assessing the individual's needs to see their progress and providing feedback to them. So the population we'll be focusing on is older adults, which is ages over 65, and it can be geared towards male and females. And it really focuses on people who struggle to find motivation to exercise.
Okay, and so for our program, since it's a home health setting, um, we will need funding towards things such as streaming services through either cable TV, radio, or YouTube, budget for the volunteers, the ones who are actually going to run the segments on the TV, and any additional funding that we'll need towards any kind of equipment or um, activities such as raffles and whatnot, and optional salaries for workers. And we will also need to invest in video and audio equipment and advertisements. And through this, we can receive donations, possible grants through organizations such as the NIH, state health departments, and that is how we are planning to fund this. So for the actual intervention activities, our program will focus on creating a community that promotes physical activity engagement in an enjoyable, educational, and accessible way for the elderly. And in order to define our progress, our measurement on this, our progress can be measured by the amount of interactions that we receive in our program. since our program is remote and digital, there's no way for us to really measure um, other than engagement with our programs and views and feedback and reviews, things such as that. Okay, and for the actual activities, so our three main focus is to educate and to promote a better changes in behavior to physical activity. So creating a schedule for our audience to meet realistic and beneficial physical activities and a social environment. So encouraging our audience to engage in social behaviors during our program by providing real-time feedback and interactions, such as like radio call-ins, being very receptive to comments, potential giveaways for to reward our clients for interacting with our program. So our program's main two strengths are simplicity and accessibility. Because older people, the main thing, older people, they often feel discouraged by the new digital age. They feel pressure to keep up. And if the program is too complicated or it's on a platform that they're not comfortable with, it might further discourage their participation. So in order to combat this, our program is going to be set on platforms that the elderly are comfortable with, such as radio or cable, um, maybe something simple and easy to access, such as YouTube. And additionally, this program is heavily influenced by the audience's feedback and suggestions. So rather than just posting a video and having the elderly or having our audience follow what we have posted, we'll actually be streaming in real time and being very receptive to feedback, and based on the feedback and what the audience likes and don't like and what they want to see more of or less of, we will be adjusting our program. So our program's very adaptable in a sense. So our program will take place in a remote setting where we will reach our audience via radio, cable television, and YouTube. So the strengths of this is that it allows for easy access and it will allow for a large audience to be present at one time versus having a very specific program. But to that, the limitations are that since it's remote, we are not able to have we won't be able to accurately measure, the benefits that come with the program. The only way we can assess this is by word of mouth. So people coming back and telling us, hey, I've seen improvements with this and that. But otherwise, since it's being presented on such a wide platform, we won't be able to know the exact changes that it's making in everyday life. And so this is a potential timeline of the program. So number one, we would pitch the idea and gain public support from organizations, donations, etc. And then we would have to set up the actual accounts, gain permissions between radio segments, cable programs. We have to get the equipment and assemble our team. And then we would first have to heavily focus on marketing it because we need to get the word out. And one way we might do this is having some sort of raffle or prizes involved through participation. And then after we have all of that set, we will be able to begin the pilot test, which would focus on streaming first through radio features and YouTube accounts, just because to get a segment on a cable program is a little bit more tricky than setting up a radio feature in a YouTube account. And so the first month would include raffle prizes. It would focus on interacting with the audience. And so each program will include different segments. So each time we go live, it will have a different segment starting off with the educational portion. We'll introduce ourselves, some facts, stress on why physical activity is such an important part, how it's achievable, and then we would go on to do a demonstration or explanation, such as like, you know, follow me while we do this with some explanations. And then at the end, we'll have user participation discussion. So that's where we can actually hear the feedback from the audience and we can figure out how to grow and how to change and adapt our program to the audience's liking.
So with our program, there could be some potential unexpected consequences that the participants might encounter. One of them being the biggest one, in my opinion, being technological barriers. Um, so elderly adults struggle with usually struggle with accessing and using digital platforms just to like their lack of knowledge and navigating them. So to overcome this barrier, uh, we provide comprehensive user-friendly tutorials so that they can navigate the platforms easier. And then another consequence is content relevance. So the content provided may not be relevant for all the participants. So it's kind of like not a one size fits all. So to overcome this, we would conduct surveys to better understand the needs of the target audience. And then um, we would continuously gather and act on participant feedback to further tailor content. And then when it comes in the case that we don't overcome these barriers, there's ways to reduce threats to internal and external validity. So to reduce threats of internal validity, we would monitor and document any deviations or issues in the program implementation, and then ensure consistent delivery of the program elements to all participants. And then to reduce threats to external validity, we would define the target population and ensure a representative sample in the pilot test. And then also document any factors that can influence outcomes, like, for example, regional differences and technology access. And then, so again, the two barriers are technological barrier, which the strategy for that would be to provide comprehensive tutorials, establish a tech support team, even a helpline maybe, and then consider simpler technologies. And then the second barrier is content relevance, which the strategy for that would be to conduct initial and ongoing surveys, tailor content based on feedback, and ensure a wide range of activities. So to implement the program, we would use different marketing strategies, such as having posters and flyers posted in community centers and senior citizen homes. Also collaboration with healthcare providers and doctors for referrals. And then also local radio and TV ads. Maybe if they still get newspapers, ads in the local newspapers. And then as far as recruitment techniques, we would have partnerships with senior centers and community organizations. Again, outreach through healthcare providers and local clinics. The biggest one probably being word of mouth referrals from already existing participants. Um, we could provide an online registration with an easy sign up process, and then also home visits by volunteers to further explain the program. And then lastly, incentive programs with raffle prizes. Um, so a community partner in Houston is a company named Baker Ripley. And they are a senior wellness association. So something that was that I got from the interview is that elderly adults really value social connections, and because they don't really get out much, so um, any social interaction that they have is significant to them. So they prefer programs that are easy to access and understand, and many of them are motivated by community and health benefits. Um, one member that was interviewed said that he enjoys group activities and appreciates clear and simple instructions when it comes to navigating digital platforms. So he's more likely to participate in a program if he sees consistent benefits and has access to technical support. Um, uh, in evaluating this program, um, the our process would be to develop and pitch the program to gain support, establish accounts and permissions, and acquire the necessary equipment needed, assemble volunteers and create a schedule for both volunteers and participants, conduct marketing and promotional activities, and launch a pilot test with radio and YouTube streaming, and then at the end gather user feedback. So the impact that this would have would be obviously increased physical activity among the elderly, and then which would enhance social connections and community engagement, and provide improved awareness of the benefits of regular exercise. Um, and then the outcome of this would be sustained participation in physical activities among the elderly, and better physical and mental health among the participants, and establishment of a supportive community amongst each other. Some of the implications, there are possible implications. So the implications for policy, if successful, would be uh, uh, to advocate increased funding and support for digital health and wellness programs for seniors. And then if it's unsuccessful, it highlights the need for policies that help elderly adults improve their digital skills and access to technology. And policymakers should focus on improving digital infrastructures and provide more training programs for seniors. And then implications of research, if successful, this would highlight the effectiveness of digital platforms in increasing physical activity amongst elderly adults. And if unsuccessful, it identifies barriers in digital engagement for this demographic. So researchers should explore alternative digital methods and investigate specific needs and preferences of elderly adults. And in practice, if the program is successful, it encourages healthcare providers and community organizations to use digital activity programs for seniors. And if not, it suggests changes to make the programs more suitable for the elderly participants. And practitioners should offer personalized and more flexible approaches, and ensure that there's tech support available and easy to understand content for elderly adults. And this is just a little infographic showing the effects that technology has had on seniors. So 58% of seniors say that it's had a mostly positive effect. 33% of seniors say it's either neutral or equally positive and negative. And then 4% of seniors say that it's mostly negative.
And
And
here are our references.